My mom cut me off for being homophobic and disruptive in my brother's wedding, and I'm glad she did it. My brother finally got married after 4 years together. I was so happy for him. His husband is honestly one of the kindest people I've ever met. They met at a work conference, exchanged numbers, and spent the next 6 months doing long distance before my brother finally relocated. I watched him fall completely in love. I watched him become a better, calmer, happier version of himself. His husband did that. So when they announced the engagement, I cried. The good kind. The wedding was small, maybe 60 people. A venue with exposed brick and string lights. The kind of place that feels warm the second you walk in. My brother's husband has a huge family, and they flew in from all over. Loud, affectionate people who kept pulling my brother into hugs like they had known him forever. It was exactly the kind of day he deserved after years of hiding who he was from our side of the family. Our mom had known about my brother for 2 years at that point. He came out to her in person, sat her down, the whole thing. She did not yell, she did not cry. She just went very still and said she needed time to process. That was her thing. She never exploded, she just went cold. Weeks of one-word texts, stiff hugs at holidays, a politeness that felt worse than anger because at least anger is honest. She said she would come to the wedding. I genuinely thought that meant she was trying. The ceremony was scheduled for 2 in the afternoon. By 1:50, everyone was seated. Quiet in that good way, that expectant way. The officiant was up front. My brother and his husband were backstage waiting. My mom walked in at 1:58. She was not alone. She had brought my aunt with her, my dad's sister, who had not been invited, who had made her feelings about my brother very clear at a family dinner 2 Christmases ago, who my brother had specifically asked me to keep off the guest list. I had done that. They came in through the main doors, heels loud on the hardwood, my aunt dragging a small suitcase like she had come straight from the airport. They walked to the front row and sat down. No one stopped them in time. I was 2 rows back. My stomach dropped. The music started. My brother walked out and the whole room softened. He looked incredible, calm and bright-eyed and sure of himself. His husband came out from the other side, and when they saw each other, they laughed. This quiet, private laugh like they had forgotten anyone else was in the room. The officiant started speaking. My mom leaned toward my aunt and whispered something, loud enough that the people around her shifted. I saw my brother's eyes look toward the sound. She did not stop. The officiant moved into the vows. My brother's husband was maybe 30 seconds in, voice low and steady, when my mom laughed. Not a cough, not an exhale. A real laugh, short but unmistakable, like something struck her as funny. The room went stiff. My brother's husband paused for just a beat, then kept going. My brother did not look at her, but I saw his jaw tighten and stay that way. I leaned forward and touched her shoulder, said her name quietly. She turned and looked at me like I was the problem. I told her she needed to hold it together. She pulled her shoulder away and faced forward. 2 minutes later, she whispered something that made my aunt look at the ceiling. I moved to the empty seat beside her and said quietly that if she could not be respectful, she needed to step out. She said, out loud, that I was being homophobic by policing her reaction to something she found morally difficult, that I was embarrassing the family, that she had shown up, and that should be enough. Several heads turned. My brother's husband had stopped speaking. I stood up, took my mom by the arm, and told her we were stepping outside. She resisted. I did not let go. My aunt grabbed her other arm, and I said clearly that she was not on the guest list and needed to come with us right now. My mom got louder, called me a disgrace, said I had chosen a side. I walked her down the aisle, one hand on her arm the whole time. A staff member met us at the door, and I asked him to keep them out until the ceremony ended. I walked back inside. My brother was looking at me from the front of the room, his husband too. The officiant gave me a small nod. I sat back down. Someone squeezed my hand. The rest of the ceremony was perfect. My mom came back during the reception, sat in the back, and left before dinner without saying a word to anyone. 3 weeks later, I got a long message from her. She had clearly taken time with it. The core argument was that I had humiliated her publicly and proven I was the intolerant one. She said she was cutting off contact until I acknowledged the harm I had caused her. I read it twice, set my phone face down on the counter, and felt, for the first time in a long time, something very close to relief.